Hi, welcome to All Games New and Old. I'm David Rodriguez.
And I'm Hillary Rodriguez.
And this is our first family game review episode. And for that, we are going to be reviewing Dinos Not Assembled from Thing 12 Games. Full disclosure, this game was provided to us from Thing 12 Games. So this was released in 2021 and was designed by Dawson Kemper and Alice Davis.
Yeah, they're actually a mother-son team, which is really nice that they actually collaborated together to help design this.
Yeah, it sounds like they'd worked on designing games together since he was really young, and they finally came out with one. I don't think there was one out from them before, but for people to go out and buy, so that's a pretty neat thing. So in this game, you play as archaeologists, and you're trying to fill museum displays with complete dinosaur skeletons. So you go out, you're going to dig up some bones, you're trying to find ones that match, and you're trying to get them into your museum, 3 different ones, before your opponents do. So to see how all that works, let me take you to the gameplay video. Okay, I have the game set up here as if I was doing a 2-player game. I'm really just going to show you one player's actions just to walk you through what the different things are. You have here the museum board. Each character is going to have their own museum, so you'll either be the blue, the yellow, the green, or the red. There's lots of cool little things going on in the museum. I kind of like to just look at the visitors. I don't know why, it's fun for me. But anyway, over here we have the dinosaur meeple. So as you complete dinosaur skeletons, you will then pull a meeple off if you finish one, and you'll put it on your board in one of your displays. Over here we have the dig site board. This has cards with dinosaurs on it that you can try to fill out skeletons for, and here are the bones that you can dig up. There's always 4 out there at a time. I have 2-player boards here. I'll be using this one. This is the first player token. Looks like a big dinosaur tooth perhaps. And this is the cool looking bag full of dinosaur bone tiles. So, let me walk you through... Oh, sorry, one other thing. This is the security guard meeple. I'll get to the security guard shortly, but it's one of my favorite little parts of this game, to be honest with you. So there are 5 possible actions you can do during your turn. You can only do 1 on each turn. So you can dig, which means you will take 2 bones from the dig site and place them green hand side up on your player board. So what I would do is I would look at the dinosaurs I have in my hand, and you start with 2, and I would see if any of the bones out there match the dinosaurs that I've got. So in this case, I see 2 that do. This one and this one would be good to grab. So I'll go ahead and grab these 2. And I'll put those there. There are different colored tiles. The blue ones are more common than the red, which is the only real difference between them. So then once you've done that, if that was the end of your turn, you would then draw 2 random bone tiles out of the sack to replace the ones you just took. So I'll put those there, and you want to put them green hand side up, and we'll get to why in a moment. The other side looks the same, it just has a red hand instead. Okay, so that's one of the actions that you can do. The other one you can do is you can steal, which is a fun one. So let's say this player over here wanted to steal one of my bones. What he would do is he'd reach over for one, as long as it has the green side up, he would take it and then put it red hand side up. So that means that this cannot be stolen back by anybody. But the security guard would come over to me. Now what that means is that nothing else can be stolen from me until somebody else has something stolen from them, because then the security guard will go over there. So I'm protected from further stealing for a while, but I did lose a bone that I needed, which is sort of a bummer for me. Another thing you do is you can plan. So you would draw 1 dino card from the face down deck. If you just think you want to have more options on what to build, you could draw one, see what you got, put that in your hand, and now you've got a dinosaur with 3 different bones that you need to try to solve. You could also choose to clear. In this case, you would get rid of all 4 of these bones. You'd move them aside, and you draw out 4 new ones before you put those back into the bag. So let me do that. I'm getting a lot of the the rare ones, which doesn't seem like it should happen, but that's just the luck I'm having apparently. So I'm going to pull those out, okay, and then I can put these back into the bag. Now the other thing, the final one you can do, is that you can make, which means that you would make your dinosaur. So anytime you have 3 bones on your player board that match one of your dinosaurs, you can then make it. Now you can't have more than 4. So sometimes you have to decide if you want to keep one or get rid of one. Sometimes you'll choose to discard one to get a new one. But in this case, if I had, let's just say I had all the bones for prefer this one, so I don't have to go digging for it. That's a Velociraptor. So I could go ahead and choose to discard that card. So I would grab the Velociraptor, which is that little guy there, and I would go ahead and put that on my display. And then, of course, I would go to the next person. And the first person who manages to get 3 dinosaurs on their display will then win because they were able to fill the museum faster than anyone else. And that's the entire game. It's very simple to learn, but pretty engaging, actually. So I won't go into too much of that right now. Let me get you to our final thoughts where we'll talk all about it. Okay, I hope that gameplay video is helpful to you. So now we're going to talk about our final thoughts on this game, starting with the art. I really, really like this art. I mean, it's very cute. Obviously, it's designed for kids, but it's very bright, very colorful, just pretty all around, very evocative of that theme. I mean, it looks, like a cool kind of like high-end animated movie about these archaeologists in a way. So I think it's really great.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job of the artwork. It's very cute, very bright. It's artwork that I would expect from a high-end kids game. And I think they did a really good job of it. And the characters are diverse, too. And I like that they did the dinosaurs in different colors. So, like, when you're looking for the meeples, it's easier to see, like, okay, I'm looking for the yellow dinosaur or the purple dinosaur.
For sure.
For the components, speaking of the meeples, I think the meeples are really good. They all look a little bit different. They have some paint on them as well. So between the colors and the shapes and the paint, it really helps be able to figure out which dinosaur you're supposed to grab when you actually need to grab that meeple for assembling that dinosaur. The player boards are a nice heavy cardstock. The cards are pretty decent, and the dice bag is actually really nice. This is actually probably one of the nicer dice bags I've seen in a game. It even kind of looks like dirt, and it's nice and soft. There's not strings coming out when we're pulling the tiles out.
Yeah.
So it's all the components are really nice with this game.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I do especially like that bag. I don't know, it feels nice. Like, I like it. It's very cool. This is where you pull the tiles out of. I do like that kind of dirt design on it because it just makes me think, okay, yeah, because, I mean, this is where you pull the bones out of. So it almost has that, a little further into the theme of where you're digging around in there to get the bones out. Very cool. Everything is just super, super high quality, so... Gosh, there's nothing I can complain about as far as the components. I think it's all pretty fantastic. So going to the theme of the game, I think they did a really good job incorporating it. I mean, it's not meant to be a simulation, so I mean, obviously it's not like perfect archaeology. It's not gonna teach you what it's like to be an archaeologist, really. But it's really neat that you're digging around and you're finding these fossils and like you're trying to really complete the full skeleton, so you're not just getting, well, I got a wing from a pterodactyl and the skull from a T-Rex or whatever. You really have to work to get the right things. And I like the little security guard because, I mean, you could steal from somebody else, and then the person who gets stolen from has the security guard over there helping, keep things safe. And so you can't steal from the same person twice, so no one can really feel too picked on. At the same time, I think kids really love stealing from their parents. That sounds messed up.
Our kids do.
Yeah. So, but I like that little thematic thing, and I think it just adds another little layer of fun in the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think they did a really good job of incorporating the theme throughout the game. The player boards, the meeples, even the bag looking like dirt, and you have to kind of dig around in there to get the bones out. So I think they did a really good job of incorporating the theme. For the gameplay, it's a really easy game to learn. I think it says ages 8 and up, but we actually taught our 5-year-old to play it. There's a few nuances of when to steal or what tiles she should actually be going after that she needs a little bit of help with, but she really doesn't need a lot of help in playing this game. She can mostly do it on her own, and she really could do it on her own. She just might not win on her own, but she just needs a little bit of guidance, a little bit with picking out what exactly to do. And the other thing that I like with the gameplay here is that it incorporates a lot of mechanics that the adult hobby board games have. So it's a good introduction to these core mechanics in a lot of the board games. And so, like, like our 10-year-old really likes to play it, so playing this with her will help her be able to play some of the more adult board games with us when she wants to play those games with us.
Yeah, I agree. The nice thing about this game is that it is a game that can easily be played by kids, but it isn't completely mind-numbing for adults.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could play this with adults, and it would be okay, and it wouldn't be heavy by any stretch. It'd be very light, very, very light, but, in between
it's
break.
It's good end of the night, we just want a laid-back thing to play.
Yeah, you definitely could do that. So, I mean, there's no real flaws or problems that I've seen in the gameplay at all. So, I think they really created something great here. That mother-son team, they really apparently worked together well, or maybe it was very hard. I don't know, but either way, they came out with something that works really, really great for families.
I agree. So,
moving from that to our final scores for the game, you may get the inclination that I think this is a pretty good game. It's rare, at least in our family, to find a game that I think really hits with everybody. A lot of games don't. Like our oldest kid, it's hard to find a game that she's like super excited about. Some things she thinks are okay, but she's not always real enthused.
She's in that age where she's not really into pretty much anything. So finding something that she actually wants to play and wants to play with us, and so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, and then the younger kid who is wants to play literally everything but probably can't. I think it's great that she actually can do this, even though she's under that age limit. Obviously, that's going to vary by kid, but I think I would say it's not unreasonable to think that a lot of kids under 8 could play this game, at least with the parents' help, if nothing else.
Yeah, there's not reading involved in this game, which is, I think, where a lot of the age cutoff really kind of comes into play. So
yeah, definitely. But thinking about this game and how much of it is and how actually enjoyable it is for parents, looking at my scale where 0 is super duper trash, 5 is just average, and 10 is perfect. I can't think of another family game that I'd probably really rather play with the kids. I think they've really captured something great here just across the board. There's nothing about it that I have a complaint about. So that being said, I'm going to give this a 10. I really think it is that good for families.
I actually agree. I also going to give this a 10. I think for a family game, I can't really think of something else I would want in a family game. It's very easy for the kids to learn and pick up. Like I said, it doesn't require reading, so it's just a matter of having that mentality of being able to get some of the strategies down. But even then, they can just have just a little bit of help of you can, here's your 3 options that you can do this round. And they can still figure it out. And then I really like that it has the core mechanics that a lot of the other adult board games have. And so it's a really nice introduction game. And it's not a game that's so boring that adults couldn't just sit down and play it. It is good for at end of the game night when you're fried and just kind of want a simple game to play. Or if you're just playing with somebody that hasn't done any kind of hobby games, it's a good introduction to the hobby game area because it's a theme that everybody understands and the core mechanics are there, but they're easy to learn in this game. So I'm also going to give it a 10.
All right, that's pretty awesome. I think it might be our first double 10 game. Is it? No. Maybe not. But
depends on when it comes out.
Yeah, that's true. Depending on the time space continuum, it may or may not be our first 10 game. But it is not only our first family game review, but it is our first Perfect 10 family game review, which is a great way to start, I think. Anyway, I hope this review has been helpful to you in knowing about whether or not this game would be right for you and your family. If so, if you could hit the like and subscribe button and click the little bell icon so you can know about the next time I put out a video. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you all around the table again at All Games New and Old.
Bye.
was designed by 2 people.
A mother and son team.
Here, hold on, wait, look at this. When I went to the gameplay video and I just like had it on here, I was like, okay, pause it, read it, pause it, read it, pause it, yeah. Do you know how to play now? Look obnoxious.
Oh.
I wouldn't do that. What if I did? Yeah, 100%.